snap. We're on? We good? All right.
Is this working?
Hey, guys. Mic check, sound check, video check, everything check. We good? How's everybody feeling today? It's Friday. I'm feeling pretty good. I don't know where my co-host is. Where's Sam? You joining us? Oh my, who is this guy? Who is this guy? I don't even recognize you.
It's
You've
me.
been gone like a week, and where everything's just different about you.
Yeah, everything's.
guys.
I've changed my entire thing. Actually, it's November,
Oh.
so I do like a cull the forest a little bit. So we're gonna roll like this today.
Well, excellent. Yeah, so we are actually streaming for the first time through Twitch, through YouTube, and I believe
Facebook? Yeah, we're doing everything.
Right. So if you are experiencing any audio or video issues, do let us know.
I don't know what we can do about
Yeah.
it because it's hard. We've been having problems with just the one stream, and sometimes, not always. But streaming's tricky stuff, you know. And
it is.
And we're still trying to figure it out. And so bear with the mess.
But every week gets better, right, guys? Like even me and Sam get a little bit better.
We get a little bit better.
Unless don't count last week. I told Sam.
What happened last week? I didn't even
Absolutely
watch.
didn't need to watch last week. There was nothing that happened. There was
Nothing?
No unannounced games were
And
mentioned.
what did you guys do for 2 hours?
We finished Majima.
You finished Majima. Well,
Yes,
that's something.
We finished Majima.
That's
So,
something.
for those of you who were tuning in last week and we were talking about that stealth section that I had to get through, I did have to do that off camera because, like I said, you can't trust people in this room with the PS4 in rest mode. So I got through it. I'm sorry. So when I press continue here, we are going to be launching directly into the previously on Kiryu section.
But before we go, we should so since we do have some new audience potentially,
right.
we
Yes.
should introduce ourselves to the newcomers, just so we know who each other is.
Right.
So my name's Sam Mullen. I am a senior localization producer here at Sega. I've been working with the company for quite some time. You may know me for doing stuff like
Hatsune
Hatsune Miku, yeah, Refn. I've worked on all kinds of stuff. Binary Domain, Yakuza series, all kinds of stuff. Sonic games, whatever.
Right.
Nice to meet you guys.
Scott Strickhart, Yakuza series localization producer. My focus is 100% Yakuza, all day, every day Yakuza, and it's a good life.
It's a good life. We like what we do. It's good fun. So thanks
Here
for
we go.
joining us, guys. Let's get into it. So what are we doing today? Like, what's going on in Commodore?
Previously in the Tale of Cosmic
well, I
Kiryu.
get caught up. Okay.
These things are actually like really hard to localize too. Everything about these particular things has very Japanese sentence structure where it's like it's all kind of backwards.
Yeah.
If you hear the words Kiryu Kazuma,
You know
we have
what?
to
You know
put
what?
it there.
Some of the most Japanese thing when it comes to introductions like this is like like if you're watching some kind of anime and it always has like the lead up to it and then it has the two-liner intro to the thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like Dragon Ball does that all the time. It's
Yeah.
an intense fight. Can Goku make the distance or whatever? It's like that two-line kind of thing going on. That's kind of what this is right here.
Yeah, these are really cool ways to like transfer between the two characters though. It's like it's neat that they did this because if you took a week off, you're like I don't remember what the heck happened in Kiryu's chapter. Here's the lights, the magic Jedi hand.
その背後に隠された風間の意志が桐生の運命を大きく
So
変えようと
last time in Kiryu's chapter, he has joined Tachibana, and now we're going to be seeing him as trying to live an honest life. I
Oh,
believe
that's
this
right.
chapter is called,
He's like up and coming real estate
The Honest
agent.
Way, an honest living.
An honest living.
There it is. Get him a new suit. I believe is first up in order.
Getting in the suit because right now he's been wearing black and white.
Yep, pure plain old suit. None to Nishiki's liking. It's cool to see them in the batting cages like this too. There's a very strong reference to this in Kiwami. Majima calls him out to the batting cage, and Kiryu's like, "Hey man, this place means something to me too."
シャイへえそんじゃ極道からの華麗なる転身ってとこかまあそこも堅気には思えねえけど
Has our voice been coming through to you guys? Have you guys been able to hear us?
となると
Because somebody forgot to turn on the mic, I think. But, whatever.
Did no one tell us that we couldn't be heard?
立花はもう方々から情報を集め出してる
Okay, everything's good. Okay, all right. So,
Oh, okay, great,
apparently
great.
this light over here, Will, doesn't mean anything. Apparently, I bet you this is just like something that's plugged in the. It's like the button on the elevator. It lights up when you push it, but it doesn't actually. You know, the closed door button on the elevator. It just makes you think it's working.
Yeah, crazy.
Okay. All right. Good.
That's good.
じゃあお前すぐ外に手配
Crisis
されちまう
averted.
ぞ
I feel like every time we've started one, we've had some kind of tech issue.
Usually audio.
Usually audio. So.
All right.
Someone asked, how's the localization of Yakuza 6 going?
How is that going, Scott?
We're done.
We're basically done.
We're done.
We're done.
We're locked and
It's
loaded.
It's finished.
Yep.
It's ready to go.
Which means I am just going to sit on my ass.
Because there's no other games
There's
coming
nothing
out.
else to do.
There's no other Yakuza games. They're all done.
でもやっぱ
No
り
Yakuza
立花って
games.
のは結構
That's it.
力持ってる
6 is the end.
札にも太いコネがあるってわけだ
Official statement.
その件について
No news.
Who put these trolls on the stream?
Yeah. That's why they pay us. That's why they pay us the big
お
bucks.
前は今何してる
The troll,
Big
the,
bucks.
tro- the troll, the troll defense.
The
The big game industry bucks, right? The big game industry bucks.
殻の一粒の持ち主がはっきり見つかるまでの間だけどな。
Maybe you should have been a real estate agent.
もう一つ
Yeah,
こ
it's
こまで来てるらしい
apparently pretty lucrative.
Yeah. Throw money up in there. Wait for
それまでは不動産屋の普段の仕事を
Yeah, I
手伝
feel
い
like, you know, in this chapter 5, it slows it down a little bit. Kiryu and Nishiki have these cool conversations. Kiryu's gonna be doing that honest living life with Oda, and
小田っていう
this is the
立花
chapter
不動産
where Real Estate Royale unlocks, which I do want to, you know, dive into a little bit. I don't think we'll be able to go all the way through each of the kings because that's pretty intense, but you know, it's important I think to at least see
That's
days of work.
days
その
of
前に俺
game.
のこの服を何とかしなくちゃならなくてよ
Yeah, I do want to make sure we get through at least the first king.
極道丸出
It
し
shouldn't
や
be
仕
too hard.
事に
Run
なら
out,
ない
do some sub stories, go back. Run out, do some mini games, go back.
まっとうな仇に見え
Chill out, and cover trail a little bit.
I think it's hilarious here. He's like these duds make me look like a yakuza, but then he goes buys those other things, the other stuff to be like, now I look like.
服についちゃう
Now I'm
Now I'm a
civilian.
civvy. Now I'm just a real estate agent.
Right.
Oh
ま
man.
っとうな仇の服見立てて
Something
くれ
classy that makes me look less like a criminal.
人を見る目があるぜお前
Nishiki's Mr. Fashion.
分かった任せとけ
Nishiki really loves that white suit though, I think, in the back of his
そん
head.
な
I
に期
think
待しちゃ
Nishiki's
い
like,
ない
yeah, that's a good look, even though he makes fun of him.
俺
for it.
が選ぶよりはいくらがマシだろ
Evidenced in Yakuza Kiwami, where Nishiki is
それ
now
が
wearing
人
the
に
white
物
suit.
頼む態度
Oh,
か
that's right. Oh, that's true.
Hmm.
Okay, bringing it all together now.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna think about that.
Did I give you some food for thought here?
Give me some food for thought. Scott.
待ち合わせまで
Friday morning, huh?
時間どれぐらいあるんだ
I don't think I'm ready for that.
そんなにはないなできればカムロ町で買い物を済ませたい
And this is legit Tokyo. If there's no clothing stores around, then that's you know, Nishiki would usually take Kiryu out to some far off like area where they sell clothes, I assume.
Yeah.
But here, there's options are limited, as Nishiki puts
中
it.
道通り裏そんなとこに服売ってる店なんてあったが
Place where hosts shop.
新米のホストがスーツ買いに行くような店だ高級ブランドなんかは置いてねえがまあとりあえずの間に合わせにはちょうどいいだろう
贅沢は言わねえさそれじゃ行くか
Buy civilian clothes, your
Buy
objective. Come on, Nishiki, let's
All right,
roll.
Let's go, buddy. He starts
go.
complaining like, "Go too fast."
I know, it's going too fast. These conversations are really cool, though. I think, well, let me just check my abilities real quick. Nishiki and him start talking about their life and their clothing choices prior to this. Like, if you actually, I think I was talking about this when we were walking around with Ako last chapter, but if you actually, like, pay attention to and let those conversations play out, there's a lot of cool little details that come out.
Oh, that's right.
おいおい面倒だ
The girl on the phone.
Yeah,
last
yeah,
time, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, do you get in combo battles with Nishiki?
I want to
Oh.
see if I've got some combo battle heat action. I might not at this point. Come on, Nishiki, let's go. Come on, let's do it. Oh, that's not. I missed the heat action. Come on, Nishiki. Oh, too much. Hold him. Nishiki. Can't count on Nishiki for anything. Where you aiming? Look at this guy doing Chinese flips over here. Oh, Nishiki. Oh, God. Nah, Nishiki. There we go.
Here we
Now
go.
we're talking. Come on, Nishiki. Oh, yeah.
Oh, brutal.
You gotta seek out those kind of heat actions
Yeah,
sometimes.
you gotta seek them out. Hit in the back of the head. Don't worry about
Watch out, man.
it. Yeah. Turn the keys up.
What are we turning up?
Turn it up.
The bit rate.
Yeah.
Man.
People want it to look hotter, so I'm gonna make it look a little hotter. See if that helps, guys. Yeah, the bit rate was a little low, so I adjusted that. We'll see if that helps a little bit. Again, we're in sort of like new territory here when it comes to getting this stuff right. Okay, cool. We're working better. That helped you guys? Yeah.
See? Little fun little conversation
Yeah,
there.
fun.
No, I don't want to fight right now. Nishiki wants to go. Oh, is this going to open the Miracle Johnson sub-story in this chapter? You might have to do that if that's the case. This little conversation here. This all kind of comes full circle back to what you know about Kiryu from Yakuza 3, right? When he has to pick out some clothes that for the little kid who's trying to impress a girl, and he ends up looking like a...
Oh, there's a thing for that?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Shirts with weird prints.
Oh
Oh no, we're back to the lights problem. I swear. Lightning storm in here. Alright, that's going to be a thing for the rest of the stream. Alright, here we are. Plain old suits on the front here.
本当にこんなとこにあるんだな。
そんじゃ入ろうぜ。気に入ったのがあったら言えよ。
You got some nice suits, Scott?
I have no nice suits. I used to back in the day.
無難な線だと
I have a couple, but
こん
I
なと
don't
こ
wear
か
them very often. It's not
なん
very...
かパッと
We live in California. It's not like...
It's hot.
地味だ
It's
な。
We work in the video game industry.
Yeah. California, so I'm from the East Coast, and like I feel like the suit culture on the East Coast is very different. So if I was still living on the East Coast, I feel like I would get a lot more mileage out of like a business suit.
貧乏人っぽ
But
く
out
見
here,
えるん
it's
じゃ
everyone's
ない
like
か。
California, man. It's just like jeans and blazers, man. That's
Pretty
like
much.
that's
Pretty
like
much.
you
うるせえな。
know, there's no business formal. It's all business casual, and business casual in
絶対やめとけ。
on where I'm
選ぶ
from
ん
would
じゃ
be
ない
like
かとは思ってたけどよ
business formal here.
なんでダメなんだよ。
これじゃあスーツの自己主張が激しすぎて
Nishiki's got some good fashion sense though. I mean, I wouldn't wear what he's wearing,
全身コ
but
ーディ
you
ネー
know,
トしないと
he at least he's got a critical eye versus Kiryu, who's just like,
だけじゃ
huh?
なくて手間も
Here's
必
a
要
suit.
だ。
That's I fall definitely into the
無
work
頓着なやつだと
Kiryu style. And I'm like, that suit looks like it's a suit. I'd wear
I'll
it.
wear that. Yeah.
But this interaction is so good. This like you don't get to see too many video game characters who just kind of like hang out and like
色
be
は
bros.
落ち着いてるが、ラペルがピーク度で意外と派手に見えると思うぞ。
I think it's really cool that they did take the time to like really like establish well find moments to establish the relationship between Nishiki and Kiryu and these very and focus on these like very intimate
Yeah,
like
yeah.
conversations. So when you get the Kiwami, it's just like I mean it just blows that entire thing up. you
Right,
know?
right. It's important, and I mean, it even has payoffs in this game, Chapter 6. Woo.
よ、
Yo.
これでどうだ、錦。
Damn Nishiki.
But that shirt,
Cold.
man, that shirt by itself, like it looks all, it's all whatever because he's got the white suit on. But man, if he took that suit jacket off and was like, "This is this shirt," that would look insane, man.
I know,
Who
like,
would
what do
even
you
pick-
wear? How
who
would you
pick
wear
that
that?
off the rack?
お前の見た目が
1988, ladies and gentlemen.
Too
分か
much.
ってるって。いやでも
It's
よ
too much.
お前がどう言おうが、俺はこの服が気に入った。
Kiryu's all about loud.
これでいい。
えおい、いいのか 全然リーマンっぽくなってねえぞ。
小田には服を何とかしろと言われただけだ。やることはやった。文句言われる筋合いはねえさ。
He's such a little jerk at age 20. He doesn't give a crap about authority. He doesn't care what his boss thinks.
わかった。そこまで言うなら、そいつは俺のおごりで。
Oh, that said, Nishiki's shirt's kind of insane as well.
Right, like if you took off the jacket, you'd be like, what? What are you wearing?
お前のおごりのつもりだったよ。
Chains. He's got chains.
They all have chains.
Chain shirt.
ありがとうございました。
Now we're talking though. Now Yakuza 0 begins.
付き合わせて悪い。
Oh yeah. Now we're in full, you know.
ああ。お前、この後待ち合わせなんだろう？立花不動産の。
I just said it, Nishiki. His name's Oda.
小田だ。喫茶アルプスで会うことになってる。
Cafe Alps, classic location.
そうだったな。
Been there forever.
Yeah.
ところで気をつけろ。
Doesn't like a murder happen in there at some point? Isn't there a sub story about?
There's some yeah.
Sub story where there's a murder in Cafe Alps and you have to like put the pieces together.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that in Kiwami?
No. That's 4 or 5?
Is it?
Yeah.
It might be 5 actually. And there's like a whole graphic that you have to like.
Yeah. Oh man.
I think I seem to recall there being like some issues with the localization.
Yeah, sometimes I'm glad that I look at these past problems. I'm like, I'm glad I didn't have to deal with that one.
Yeah, I seem to recall like some critical information on that one not being like. It was like, oh, but they make it so you can understand what's going on. We're gonna have to change the graphic.
The producers, I love doing the producers.
You can do it now because you're in the white suit.
Yeah, I can do it. I'm gonna do it. Yes, I
Oh,
can.
there's actually there's some great localization
Oh
stuff
my
in here.
God.
There's some great workarounds to what we had to do, like that, like Kazuri and all that kind of stuff. They erasable.
Yes. Oh
They're
god.
erasable.
So many weird little things.
Like I said last time we were in here because we came across this when I was here last time. So Yakuza 0 was like kind of I'd played like an hour or two of a Yakuza games here and there. The Yakuza 0 was for me was like the first Yakuza game that I like started playing and I like finished it from start to finish. And up until then I had been probably like a lot of people who don't know much about Yakuza. I was like, it's a crime fighting gritty game. And that's kind of what I went. I was like, let me check it out. And then this was the first sub-story I ran across, and I was like, okay, I'm going to step off here and try one of the sub-stories. And then it was like, this was not what... I don't think this series is exactly what I was expecting it to be.
But I stopped here because I want to point out that, like, even though this is talking about film producers, and this is very much this prestige of, like, a send-up of, like, haha, these like, movie industry, TV industry guys, they don't know what they're doing. This is... If you look at this sub-story from a video game producer perspective, it also applies.
Yeah.
Which is, like, it's funny because... Wait, what does the producer do? I don't know. Isn't that role pretty important? No, man, it's a total fluff job. And it's just like, oh, yeah, you know, it is.
All we do is act all high and mighty. It's total fluff. Yeah, that's our job.
It was hilarious to write this as a producer.
As
being
a
like,
producer.
yeah, my job's pretty fluff.
It's pretty fluff. There's no work involved. We just sit around all day and talk about video games.
Absolutely.
We don't have to touch up the graphics on level 4. Level 4, we
it
tell
3?
someone to do that.
I thought the graphics were bad on level 3.
Is it level 3? Sorry, I moved past that. Level 4. That was in 1990. Yeah, we just tell people to touch up the graphics. We don't have to touch up the graphics ourselves.
Right. Here we go. Kiryu, the producer. I'm so glad they included this outfit as DLC. You can once you get to Premium Adventure, you can just cruise around in this outfit.
Oi.
Guys.
I literally saw a producer like on a Japanese TV show at one point. And he looked just like.
Go to Santa Monica. Everyone's dressed like this.
Oh no, it's so bad.
Pink pants, yellow sweater. Yeah, it's perfect. But I love this producer that shows up. Their director, Papillon Kato.
Papillon.
He does have a lot, like he used to in the Japanese dialogue he used like English phrases and little things like that. And we just made him international man of international knowledge. And all his teams like, I don't know what you're saying with these weird foreign words. And
it's actually really funny because like the directors and producers are like a combo, like especially like in Japanese video game development. And it usually plays out this way. Like the director's like the vision guy, and he's kind of like a little kooky, and the producer's like the grounding force. He's like the guy like we got to keep it on schedule, we got to keep it on budget. And the director's like,
Ciao, lovelies.
oh no, Morgan.
Guten Morgen.
Guten Morgen, baby.
So we've already got Italian. There's some German for you.
Guten Morgen.
Maury has no idea what German is, which is why he screws it up. And he's like, yeah, all right. He had this phrase in Japanese too. It was almost for
Bling
the-
bling, cha-ching, baby. Yeah.
Oi.
Oh no.
I'm gonna pick absolutely the wrong options here because they're hilarious.
But you guys will see some interesting, like, we're going to show you guys a couple, like,
Yeah,
behind the scenes sort of localization stuff that, the stuff that we have to kind of,
Right.
like, force make sense sometimes coming up
Yeah.
here, so.
There's some French. We've gotten 3 languages in 4 text boxes.
Capiche?
Stiff as a stiff. People in television business do seem pretty shallow. Isn't that right, Kiryu? Proper greeting is important in every walk of life. We're gonna get goofy.
Right?
You discourage disrespect, he goes all Yakuza on him.
Yeah.
Observe etiquette is probably what most people picked, but
Right.
getting goofy is absolutely, actually, I think the right choice.
Hey,
Hey, Papi-chan, let's get this shoot rolling so we wrap before my next meeting. Chop, chop, yeah? And Kiryu's got that classic smile. I love Kiryu's like,
He's like
I'm doing
smart.
this right
He's
smile.
smart.
Bada bing, bada bing. little touches like that just make the characters stand out, I think.
Oi.
Battling window dressing. This is absolutely what happens when you get off, you piss off the director.
Yeah, yeah.
Something goes wrong. He suddenly flips a switch and just is like, nope.
Yes.
Cursing all of a sudden.
Yep.
You're a nice guy, Maury. This shit doesn't cut the mustard.
This is probably what I sound like to Will when we're getting this whole thing up, and I'm all like, "What do you mean the audio's not working, Will? You had 30 minutes to get this done before we got started. What
Will's
the
like,
hell?"
Sam, the diva.
We love you, Will. You're the man.
Sam is a diva. He is this guy. This is based after Sam.
This is
This is Sam.
it's all good.
And then she shows up and he completely flips the switch again. It's fine. We were patient. We get on stream. Sam turns out as nice.
Yeah. Hey guys. Guys, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Self-awareness is
It's important trait
It's
for
humor,
producers.
isn't it humor? Self-awareness is humor, right?
Yeah.
Oi.
Bon Dieu.
The hell is this? Where's the erasable? Where's
Right.
there? So like in Japanese, I think that it's called like where's the kezuri, which is like literally like the thing you shave away, the thing you get rid of over time.
Which no one says this, which is why we had to kind of like drop the check at the beginning that like, hey, he uses some pretty weird lingo.
Right.
'Cause we it was more important for us in the localization side of things to nail the fact that you wouldn't necessarily know what this is.
And the crazy thing here is that we actually have to because the thing from the 3 options here.
Yeah, we had to know what was on the table.
Yeah, because we had to come up with like words that apply to every single thing. So, you've got like the food, you got a knife, and you got an eraser. So, so the way this works is like obviously the food's the correct answer.
Right.
Kezuri can mean like to shave, so that means something for the knife, and then kezuri or kesu is like for like erasing as well. That's why the racism. So in Japanese it like makes kind of complete sense, but we spent a lot of time finding out.
Yeah.
Trying to find the word to say this. Like
it makes a little less sense here, but we
But-
sacrifice the word that they're actually using to make it at least a little bit more difficult on you to pick the right
Right,
option.
and it sounds really good now because we're like, oh well, yeah, obviously it would be erasable, but that was after like all this talk about what's
Right.
the word for
Right.
this? Like, what do you do here? What do you say?
Oh, I picked the right option. My bad.
You should have brought the knife out.
I should have brought the knife out.
Oi,
This is how you erase someone. I think. It says.
Yeah, that's how we connected it. This is how
Yeah.
you erase someone, right?
Which makes perfect sense in Kiryu's life. I mean, that's all he knows.
Yeah, but that was a stretch we had to kind of pull together because that's not necessarily what he says in Japanese. He doesn't say this is how you erase someone
No,
in
yeah,
Japanese,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you can just be like, this is kit. You use this to like shave things, and it makes sense in Japanese, but you can't say that in English and have it make sense. So
Right.
that was like an interesting sort of localization challenge in this particular sub-story.
I managed to be useful somehow. Good going, Kiryu.
Someone wants to know if I've ever yelled at you like a Yakuza boss.
No, Sam's actually pretty cool about things. When things like when shit hits the fan, I usually if Sam catches it, that's bad news. I need to catch it and bring it to Sam and be like, Sam,
This thing
I
happened.
messed it up, so this thing happened. And then, have you ever heard of an incident report, guys? Sometimes the basically way that things happen, that things work in video games is when something screws up, it generates more work.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah,
write a
that's real,
report
that's real.
about what happened,
Yeah.
why it happened, and how you're going to avoid making that happen.
I pitched that time in game industry. That's probably a lot of companies probably run that way.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, you don't want to. You basically don't want to make the boss think that you're not on top of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if the boss picks up something that you haven't reported, then it means that you're on top of it. So
I'm gonna fetch a grocery clerk because that's hilarious.
what's the
We're grocerying the
Oh, yeah,
erasable.
grocery. Oh, what was that? Well, I can't remember what this was in Japanese.
Oh man.
What was this? What was the lead up? to
Who, pray tell, is this? Yakuza-san. He's a grocer. I had to convince him to get over here. Kiryu's smile. Again, I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Again, 100%. No
totally
matter
is it.
what you pick, what option you pick, this is Yakuza's like grace about what makes Yakuza so great is that no matter what option you pick, your protagonist will get behind you 100%.
Yeah.
He's never going to turn to the camera and be like, you picked a weird thing. I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, oh, you want me to say that?
Yeah.
No problem.
This
This
is
is the
the
right
grocer.
answer.
I got you.
huh?
You're the one who told me to grocery. Grocery tilted at an angle, like a grocery sign. I don't remember what that is in Japanese either.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what that.
Maybe this one was more accurate?
No, I don't think so. I think this
Oh.
one was it was too tricky as well. I'd have to go look it up. I can't
Yeah.
remember.
Sorry, grocery guy.
Yeah, I can remember what because it's all about making like presenting the food or whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah. This is the one. Jeer the props.
Nani?
We are absolutely going to taunt the dishes. These dishes are pathetic. Look at these jokes.
Oi,
Cameras are on you, lunatic.
Nani?
Nani.
Night. Oh.
Oh,
He didn't do the
look away.
look away. That's the best one.
My job, I feel like as a producer, is to make sure Sam doesn't get involved. The more Sam can focus on other things, the more that means I'm doing my job. If Sam starts engaging on my project, that means something's usually wrong, or Sam has to check on something. Which is why I like to be like, Sam, don't worry about it. Kids, don't look at my stuff. We're good.
Yeah, and then I take the day off. Go
Yeah,
home.
go home.
Nah, there's always fires are burning.
Always.
Always fires burning.
You'd be surprised what it takes to keep a video game ship afloat.
Oi!
I'm actually having a panic attack thinking about all the fires burning right now. Mini panic attack.
What I love about this is that we've already established that this is what producers wear. So of course, the producer shows up and he's wearing the same outfit. A little bit of commentary on OT in this industry. Fortify, gentlemen.
Everything this guy says is like a little too real sometimes.
Oi.
We're a little too close to it to.
Yeah, it's a little too close. It's kind of. I can see being yelled at by a director for the same thing. But this is also why a lot of Japanese working populace like sleeps under their desk.
Shit.
Oh, you have personal issues? Get in the way of your work?
That's real, man.
Your family is in trouble? Get back at your desk and work. You know, like,
Not all companies are like that. No,
it-
certainly
yeah,
isn't.
Knock that guy out.
Get out of here, Ida. We're done with it.
Oh, he's dead.
Oh, this guy's got a stick.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was a pretty good dodge. That guy looks like a dude you'd seen a Mahjong car.
He probably is at the Mahjong parlor, to be quite frank.
Random question. Did any of you guys see Platinum Kiwami?
Platinum?
It is almost... Okay, listen. I know... Is that from Romaine? That's not Roman, is it?
I don't know. It's from a person named Lena. on
Okay.
YouTube.
Okay. There's a dude named Roman who's been I've been talking about some of the issues that are involved with Platinum and Kiwami. And let me tell you, the car chase on Legend, have you done it?
I know that there's a lot of people who like have trouble with that car chase, but when I played, I don't remember it being a problem, but maybe it's because I'm not trying to. Is it like you got to get through it?
You literally cannot make a mistake. Like,
oh, is that what it is?
Even the testers were like, "This is really hard."
And you got to do it on Legend.
Yeah.
So wait, making a mistake means getting shot or missing a dude.
Like, you have to be like, it's time. Like, it's about like you can't lose life basically. Because at the end the truck comes out and like tries to run you over, and if that happens, I'm pretty sure that's like at a game over. Level.
Right,
and like, if you're not doing that part correctly, and then it sends you all the way back to the Lao Kalong fight.
Oh, I would ever fight. Lao Kalong is like, I hate him.
Everybody
like
hates Lao Kalong.
Last time, like the Lao Kalong, my first experience with him was when I was actually playing through. Because I played the series sort of out of order. I was playing Yakuza 3, and he comes back, right?
Yeah.
He's in that. Spoiler, guys. I mean, you're on the stream, but he's like in Yakuza 3, and he comes out swinging that damn spear thing, and he's just wrecking me. And I'm like, I think I came in the next day because I was like, after like dying there like 5 times in a row, I was like, I think that's enough for the night. And I came in the next day, and I'm like, Scott, who the fuck is Lao Kalong?
It's like, let me tell you about Lao Kalong.
Why is he so like acting like he knows me and so hard to beat? And then he was like, oh, he's in the first game. I'm like, oh.
Here's what makes Yakuza again so great. You have these heart-to-heart moments. We're talking about passion. We're talking about how a single second of video footage can take dozens or hundreds of hours. Imagine what goes into a video game, if you will. This scene in particular. How many hours did this take? Passion. It's all about passion. TV gives viewers hopes and dreams. There are people out there who can be inspired by TV, change their jobs.
It's such a proxy for the video game.
Yeah, this is absolutely what this is.
Yakuza has the power to change people's lives for the better. Has anyone out there listen? Has anything that's happened in a Yakuza game changed your life? Tell us about that. Tell us in the chat how Yakuza has affected your life in a positive way. Has it given you what bit of knowledge did you get from the game that like changed your outlook on something? I want to see some comments about that.
Yeah. You just said that moved me to my core.
But that's what a good director does.
Yep.
They come in and they say some stuff that some mushy, like, inspiring stuff, and you're like, it was all worth it.
That skyward look, that upward pan.
It's really crazy that they you know. So let me give you guys a little bit of not Japanese, but video game knowledge. Is like allowing people to look around in an environment is really expensive, because when you build environments that don't let you do that, or like lock, you can leave stuff off screen that's not necessarily like finished or whatever. So, especially games with like locked cameras or cameras that when you move into an area, the camera kind of shifts and look. Like anything that's off camera is basically like oftentimes like not there or like half
It's
done.
like not rendering.
It's not. It's just basically not done. But the fact that they, you know, all this is being done, so the Yakuza series could be like basically like, you know, like the equivalent of like the camera could be like 10 meters off the ground, you know, pointed down, and then allow a little bit of flexibility to look up and then hide the rest of the buildings. But the game doesn't do that. It's like, no, we're going to render the entire thing everywhere. So no matter where you look, it's all like more or less done. It's just a lot of detail there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And you got to put effort into it, because you can't like, even though like most people will never ever look up to the top of that building like on purpose, like less than 1% of people will stop the game and like turn on the camera mode and look up there, but they still have to finish it, because if they make it look bad, you know, that 1% is going to be like, well, that looks like crap, and so someone's got to go in there and like make sure that 1% is being, you know, when they look up in that one little corner there, that they're not going like literally unplayable. This texture's not done. This game's literally unplayable.
Picked up one. Put on my card watcher, why not?
So let's take a moment here. We're going to. Oh no, we'll do that. We'll do that in a second. So while Scott's running around aimlessly around Kamurocho,
Aimlessly, how dare you?
I would like to take a moment to plug the experience site, the Yakuza experience. We're always talking about how, you know, Yakuza is an experience. It's kind of like going to Japan. It's like the cheapest flight to Japan you'll ever get. But
it's true.
We want to make sure that experience in itself is being sort of augmented. And, you know, since we were just coming off of the Kiwami release a couple months ago, and we're walking towards the Yakuza 6 release, there's a huge gap there. It's like 5 games worth of gap there. And we know that not everyone wants to go out there and like dig up a PS3. Maybe you don't even own a PS3. Maybe Yakuza 0 was your first Yakuza game. PS4. We want to make sure that gap is being bridged for you guys. So for the next like 5 months leading up to the release, you know, we're going to be constantly updating the Yakuza experience site, which you can find on the URL over there on that side. No, this way.
No, how do you? Oh my God, I'm reversed.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to point that way.
Yeah, you got to think about it. So on the site we have all kinds of stuff. We have a spoiler controllable timeline where you can see like where all the events. So maybe you played like Yakuza 3 back 8 years ago, but you've kind of forgotten. Maybe you don't want to go back and look it up or play it again. You can go to the timeline. You can kind of get an idea of what happened during the time frames for 3, 4, 5, you know, and all that. You can click on characters, get profiles, what their role was in the organization, or where they fall in the entire sort of story line. You can toggle on and off like certain games if you don't want certain types of stuff spoiled for you. But most importantly, we're the comics. We're doing the comics.
Yep.
So we have these series of 10 comics in total that we've been
through number 5 right now on the website.
Yeah, we're
through Yakuza 2 on the character map in the timeline.
So we're up to number 5, and these comics are supposed to bridge you literally from Yakuza 0 to Yakuza 6, but not tell you necessarily what the point isn't to tell you what happened during these games, because none of the games need you to play the other games to understand what's going on in the game.
Right.
But what is sometimes lacking is the sort of emotional state of each character that's in a particular game. Like, what are their motivations? I'm in Yakuza 6. what is Kiryu's mindset? What is Haruka's mindset? What is each character's like emotional state? And we think that that's, not critical, but knowing that helps enhance your experience. So we built these, excuse me, we built these comics to allow you to kind of follow the key characters leading up to Yakuza 6 to know, what their motivations are. What are they going into Yakuza 6? And you can read these with, they're kind of, I wouldn't say they're spoiler free, but they're spoiler light.
Right. We're not going to give away the plot. We're going to give away some fights. We might even spoil who the last boss is, but we're not going to give you like the game's like cruxes.
Yeah. So you can the idea being that you can read all these comics. You will be prepared to play Yakuza 6, even if you never played any other games. And you can go back and play those games whenever you get around to doing it without feeling like you've had the whole thing spoiled. So we encourage you guys to go check those out. Like Scott said, we're on number 5, which is it introduces Ryuji.
Yeah, there's some Ryuji action in there, some Goku, some tigers.
Well, and what's the point of that comic? Like, what are we trying to tell? What do people need to walk away from reading that particular comic?
So comic 5 is all about Kiryu's realization that by even though he's taking custody of Haruka, his life isn't going to let her live free of danger.
Right. So and that's like in the game in the game world, like plot wise, that's like something that's very subtle and very like on the that's not like a plot thing. That's like a theme level kind of thing. But knowing that and understanding Kiryu goes through this realization at some point early in the series helps you kind of understand a little bit more about like some of the opening cutscenes of Yakuza 6. So again, if anyone's out there who's like, well, I'm thinking I want to get Yakuza 6, but I want to play the other games first. Please, we want you guys to play the other games, but we don't necessarily want you to feel like you have to play them before you go into 6. So definitely check out the comics. They're good.
Yep.
They're good. You're working with Kenny.
His name's Kenny Porter. He's a comic book writer. Writing comic books is not easy. It's essentially, you have to write for the panel. You have to write for the little boxes of stuff. And here I am used to writing for billions of characters games.
Yeah.
So
and the comics all get sent back to the Yakuza Yakuza dev team. Sato-san himself approves them. So they're legit. They're canon as far as we're concerned. So definitely check them out. So we're gonna learn some Japanese business.
Yes. So this stuff was actually a really interesting conversation that we had to have, where we're like, how much do we want to feed the player about what the right option is?
Right.
Because you probably didn't know, and there's a hidden trophy that if you get all this right, you bring a trophy. So there's a lot at stake here for getting this all right. And at the end of the day, we chose really not to give you a whole lot of hints, because even if you get it wrong and you miss the trophy, unfortunately, you'll learn something.
Right.
Oda gives even in the Japanese, if you got it wrong, you get a little lecture from Oda, and you're like, oh, okay. There's some Japanese business etiquette I never would have thought about. Picking the table not toward the front, but not where there's only going to be 2 seats is this one's really hard. God, this one sucks because it's like, which one is the furthest seat? Which one are we actually talking about? But the room
yeah. This was the we actually rewrote this like 3 times to make it clear about whether you're sitting in or out. And what's the correct answer here?
Nearest.
Yeah.
Correct?
So there's actually Japanese culture point here. So in Japanese culture, the seat furthest from the door is considered the seat for the highest ranking person or the most important person, and it's called, and they have words, they're called the kamiza, which is the higher seat, and the shimoza, which is the lower seat. And people who sit in the lower seats, the reason this was originally, my understanding, and this is, you guys can fact check me if you want, my understanding the way this is that back in samurai days, you want to put the boss further away, because if someone comes in to kill the guy, he's literally got to go across all the other people to get to him, and the person who's closest to the door is going to be the first man to the door, essentially.
Right.
One thing, and two, even in modern society, the person who sits closest to the door is the guy who's got to do all the ordering for the table. So it's this really irritating position where they're constantly having to engage with the waiter and not, and basically manage the group and not participate in the conversation or whatever. So sitting closest to the door, if you're you're just like a lowly nobody in a group of Japanese people, you sit closer to the door. And if they push you to the, if you're visiting Japan, if you're being pushed to the far end of the table, realize that that's actually a sign of respect, that you're the guest, and sort of understand that they're not just pushing you to the back of the table because whatever. There's actually a cultural thing going on.
Yeah. So I picked nothing, even though it's hilarious if you try to order a beer. I want that trophy. But yeah, if you Oda yelling at you is actually way more funny. But I want the trophy.
Yeah. So yeah, again, it goes to this whole like they're the people here asking for the favor. So it's all about the Japanese concept of like gaman, which is like restraint. So you don't sit down, you don't get comfortable. You're like there to do business. You let the guest, who's this guy coming in, set the tone. You don't order anything to drink until he's like, no, please have something to drink. And even then, depending on what the situation is, you even say, no, I'm fine. No, you go ahead. Now that's the Japanese politeness thing.
I want to go back to also the conversation that happened leading up to, oh my god, the only game in the world where you get a QTE for delivering a business card.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so that conversation where Oda and Kiryu were having before they walked in, where Oda was like, hey, you're missing a san there, Junior. And, then he, in his voice, he really emphasizes that Kiryu.
Yeah.
Because he's power playing that relationship, right? Yeah. But that conversation was one of the most.
So you always, when you hand a business card to a person in Japanese, you hand it to them facing them, both hand it, and you always receive it facing them. You don't put it in your back pocket. You hold on to it. You put it next to you on a table or something. You leave it visible until the person is gone, and then you do whatever you want to do with it. But business cards are like an extension of your person in Japanese, so it's important to treat those with the same respect you would treat a person.
Yes. Even I picked that up. I had no idea going into this culture that, until I saw people doing what are they doing? And you start to realize like, oh, I guess that's how I should do it too. Yeah. That's how I do it now too.
Yeah.
Accept with both hands, place on the table. Accept with both hands, place on the table. Anyway, going back to what I was saying, the conversation earlier was one of the biggest reasons why we decided to kind of pivot from what the previous localizations have done and writing around honorifics to including them, because there really wouldn't have been a way to accurately convey the fact that Oda was using the honorifics as a literal
signal
of talking down to him. And it's way more natural. You guys kind of, I would suspect, all kind of know what san and kun mean at this point.
Yeah, I would throw that to the chat. So you guys out there, going back to that, like Scott said, we did add the honorifics back into the localization. Because there's a lot of context in it. I would love to hear what you guys thought about that, like especially the long series fans. Did you like it? Did you not like it? And if you felt that you could give it clearer, and if you're confused, like if you don't know what the difference between san, kun, chan, sama, and all that is, ask in the chat.
This is a great place to ask. Yeah,
people will tell you because they have meaning. It's all very subtle. Because in any social situation in Japan, there's a pecking order. It doesn't matter. There's very few situations where like a whole bunch of strangers get together and everyone's on the same level. Like there is always a level unless you're like high school friends all from the same classroom.
Right.
At that point, there's not really a pecking order. But in most situations, there's always a pecking order, and it's important to understand who's above you and who's below you. So that's part of the culture context we're really trying to bring back, starting with Yakuza.
It's called the Yakuza.
あなた方への謝礼は別に用意しますから。
それはありがたいんですが、立花から謝礼は遠慮するようにと言われてます。いつも山野井さんにはお世話になってますから。
It's also interesting to watch, like in something like I want to say one of the first Atlas localizations to include the honorifics was like Persona,
Yeah.
and you can. At the time, it was really like controversial.
It was. It was. I mean, like back in like 2000, like that's 2005-ish, right? 2005, 2006-ish. P3,
P3, yeah.
right?
Yeah, 2005,
2006-ish,
yeah.
something in that range. And I mean, that was. But now everything's changed so much in the past like 10 years. You know, like from 2006, 7-ish, Persona 3 on, with the advent of just like streaming video and Crunchyroll. We love you guys over in Crunchyroll, and all these other like access to Japanese content without dubs, essentially, and the fact that a lot of people, a lot of young content consumers know all implicitly what the different types of like honorifics are and what the different sort of ins and outs of the Japanese culture are. That not only is that like an amazing statement on our society, on our modern society, which I think is great, but it also creates a lot more freedom for content creators, for like localization content creators, because it gives us so much more flexibility in what we're able to like provide you guys and apply. It's like a whole bunch of different set of tools that we can apply sort of depending on the game. So like if we're localizing a game where like having the sans and kuns seems a little weird,
like it's not set in Japan.
It's not set in Japan. You can take that out and it's like fine, but we can put it in if we want to because it is in Japan and that gives it a little bit more. It's like a different linguistic kind of tool set that we can use, which is really, really great.
But even in our circles, it's still controversial. You'll still get localization guys who are like, I would never put in the sans and kuns because that's like honorifics, because that's you're not localizing the game at that point. You're just using Japanese terms as a crutch, and maybe we are.
It's a legitimate statement.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You can say I mean, there's sometimes Scott and I get into arguments about like, can we just like read that in Japanese and like define it in the context of when it's first introduced and then use that word rather than shoehorning an English word in its place, and which. There's an argument that can be made for any given term. I think like in Yakuza 6, one of the terms that we end up using is like aniki.
Right.
Aniki is like a word that we're just like. Do we need what?
But you'll find that in the context of that game, there is almost no way around it, and we're giving you the context free of like our intercession, so to speak, us coloring it in a way that isn't necessarily as authentic to the Japanese as it could be.
Yeah.
Because you want to know what they're saying. You want us to be as authentic as possible, and if we have to
the fuzzy line in between the two languages that we have to bridge as localizers.
Oh, this isn't Where's the stupid confectionery box, guys? Someone help me out.
Where's the confectionery box?
It's at one of the convenience stores, and I just don't remember.
Is it not in Popo? Everything's always in Popo, isn't it?
I just checked out the Popo. Is that
no? The
Popo?
Popo that's up.
Oh,
up on
way up Popo.
Yeah, that one.
That one. All right.
Or
That's an store.
Sorry.
No problem. I think I will take the taxi. People don't use the taxis often enough. You guys got to realize that there are taxis in this game that shortcut a lot of things.
Oh, okay. So here's a good. There was a question from someone who. So why did we go with like? What's the background between going with Majima-san instead of Majima no Oni-san?
Right. At some point.
So this is like an example of like, where do we
line is.
Where do we go?
At some point, it just looks ridiculous in text too.
Yeah.
Where Majima dash no dash ni dash san. That's costing me like 10 to 12 characters of text that I could be using to make flavorful English text.
Yes.
All to communicate older brother son.
Yeah.
Versus
or something like a senior level of respect.
Right.
Right. Which ultimately is sort of being communicated by the fact that we just have san on it.
Right. That's essentially just an abbreviation of the no ni san.
So there was this one Scott, you wrote this like internal documentation about like how to write Majima's voice or whatever.
I did. In case anyone else ever has to take over after.
Do it. So one of the interesting things that he points out there was like the concept of readability within text. And there were some examples that you brought up about like how in certain other games, like someone would be like these characters would be written in like a Scottish accent, but in text it's like impossible to parse. Like you can't, like you get confused. It's kind of like you know, if anyone out there has ever read like Tom Sawyer, and you get to some of the certain characters in Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn have like ways of speaking, or even like the Grapes of Wrath is another game.
Oh my god.
Grapes of Wrath is a great example. When you have these people speaking in these like country accents, and until you can really get it in your head about how these people talk, it's really hard to like parse what they're saying.
You have to parse it. You have to understand that it has to get in your head how you're thinking that they sound. And I touched on this with that Osakan accent a little bit. That, you know, if you think it sounds Texan, if you think it sounds New York, if you think it sounds some particular way that's in your head, that's great, because it's not supposed to have an analog to
Right.
a Western analog that makes a perfect like Osakan accent.
And then it just becomes, and also writing accents like that, like really complicated accents, it can really slow down your like localization speed. So it's kind of like what you know, you have to kind of draw a line between like readability, understandability, correct context, and not alienating people who maybe aren't as into Japanese language as you are.
Yeah, that's my problem with Sam. Is this guy knows so much Japanese? He's like, just leave it. Everyone's gonna know what that is. And I'm like, I have to be the voice of like of people who are like, I just like Yakuza, and I've never been to Japan. But yeah, it certainly involves some interesting conversations, because it's just, you know, we're arguing over like one word, and it takes half an hour.
So yeah, someone points out like how like in DQ some of the characters speak with like Cockney accents and Scottish accents.
Oh, they caught your Scottish thing.
Yeah, but the thing is that like often those games are being localized in Europe by European localizers, I feel.
Right, I've worked with those guys actually. They are a great team.
So that there's like strengths and weaknesses for each localization team as well. So. And plus, like a lot of the DQ stuff, there's VO for that,
right?
Which makes the
infinitely better.
It makes it so much better, because then you're not
text
having
is just supporting a voice,
right?
At that point, it's not carrying what
like
your,
a different
your internal idea of what a text, what the voice is supposed to sound like.
And there's also in the reverses also, because sometimes you can actually write really complicated text.
Sega Genesis.
So sometimes you can actually write text that looks fine in text, but then when you actually have a VO actor try to like say it, they're like, this is not, I can't even say this entire line with a straight face. Like, it's impossible to pronounce. So again, different situations require different solutions.
Yep. What's funny is it's a Mega Drive. I just call it a Genesis, but you know, Sam here is a book of knowledge about Sega history.
It's only Genesis in North America.
Right. And the Mega Drive in North America, I mean, sorry, Europe and Japan, right?
Yeah.
So there's a part with Majima's hostesses where I think it's Hibiki, and you can be like, oh, you got the Mega Drive? And you know, she's like, yeah.
We wrote that in there, didn't we?
And then Majima says something like, because I had to throw a bone to the North American audience. He was like, yeah, I get the feeling it's going to be the Genesis of something great.
Yeah. That's why, you know, and because there's a Mega Drive and Genesis version, like I worked on, I helped bring out the if you guys have, tell us in chat, but if anyone out there ever picked up any of the Sega hardware themed 3DS themes, I helped kind of bring those out, but we tried to release a couple different versions of certain systems that had differences between the regions. So I'm pretty sure there's like a Mega Drive version and a Genesis version, and they're separate because that matters some people, and it should. It should. The Dreamcast one. Someone said they like Dreamcast one. So the Dreamcast one actually uses the, I think it's like a theme from original PSO for Dreamcast. And the selection of that music, you can thank Mr. Aaron Weber for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I went to him and was like, yo, dude, what should we put here? And he was like, PSO theme song, or PSO lobby song, or whatever it is. I'm like, you got it.
Did you just say the word I think you did?
The PSO? PSO is a game, was released in English for Dreamcast. What we got going on here? Have you guys tried any of the food or stuff that's in the game?
Go ahead.
The Hibiki is.
Is that on the shelf?
I got some Hibiki. It's worth it. This stream is rated M for alcohol references.
And if you've been following the stream, you know that I have a takoyaki addiction that I cannot help.
It's a good.
This game made it worse. Like every time you'd be working on it and you'd be like replaying a scene over and over, that scene with the takoyaki steaming up, and Majin was like, oh. And it was like, I'm just like, oh.
Yes.
随分荒っぽい交渉だったじゃねえか。ビジネスマナーってのはどこに忘れてきたんだ。
It's a shame that Kiryu can't keep the glasses. I think a lot of people were impressed by Kiryu's vanity specs.
That's the thing that was it Marina?
Yeah, Marina loves
Marina
Kiryu
likes
glasses.
she gets all like moed out on Megane Kiryu. That character is so hilarious.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Do not Google her.
No, not at work anyway.
Do not Google her. The stream is rated M for sexual references.
The stream's rated M for a lot of reasons. All right. The Yakuza have shown up to... We've skipped over this whole thing about squatters. But
Yeah.
it's fairly well explained in the game. I don't feel like we... we just conveyed what they were talking about. It was a real problem in Japan back in the day. It's still a problem here, I would say.
I think it's a problem probably worldwide.
Yeah. Yakuza back the squatters, and these Yakuza are all Wano family.
All right, while we're going through this, I'm going to do some plug-in. Here we go. Ready? Okay, guys.
Okay, go.
The reason we're doing this is, at the end of the day, is that we want to sell you guys copies of this amazing premium edition. Now, this thing's kind of like almost...
It's like on the way out,
It's
guys.
basically on the way out. So if you haven't ordered it, man, you get on it now. But for most people, we encourage you to get this is a launch edition. You're gonna pay standard game price for this. Look at this. It's got a book. It's got it's not special. It's not, you don't pay more money for this. Just pre-order it,
right?
And you will get this. You will get the hardcover art book, which we are currently in sort of final planning stages of.
Probably have some of that art revealed by the end of the month, actually.
Oh yeah, so it's coming.
It's coming hot.
Coming hot.
Yeah, I mean the dragon is just a temp asset that we threw in there. This is going to actually have the fan art that was submitted for the contest, and we've picked out some great pieces. We haven't notified
you guys did
any
great
names
on that.
yet,
Yep.
but that's coming up soon too.
So get on it. We'll we're gonna announce that like I said by the end of the month or towards the end of the month.
I think we've got the cover art reveal by the end of the month as well.
Oh,
Things
yeah?
are going to start heating up.
Yep. So like both we're using those two assets for the premium edition and the launch edition, but those will be getting a refresh very soon with final assets. Just in the final stages of getting that prep for you guys. But
And we didn't use the Japanese cover. It's not going to be that anticlimactic.
yeah.
Cover art reveal. The
Yeah.
Japanese cover.
It's not the Japanese cover. We have a different cover for the North American version. So wait for that.
Yep.
I like our cover.
I think it turned out great.
I think it's great.
The other thing I think we should plug is probably that we launched the full Yakuza 6 website.
Oh yes, Yakuza website. Will put the link into the chat for everybody. Yakuza 6 website. That's a beefy website.
It is so beefy, guys.
It's beefy.
I did it myself.
It's really well written.
Thank you.
Well written.
Character bios, minigame descriptions, battle system descriptions, like every part of it. A full story synopsis.
Yep. I was reading like the summary, and like I'm reading down that what feels like a spoiler page. Like you're reading it, and you're like, God, this is a lot of information. But then I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, but that's just like the first hour of the game.
Basically, it does spoil like the first hour of the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's basically what's in the demo essentially. It basically spoils what's in the demo version. So.
Did we announce the demo?
Did I just announce the demo? Well, the Japanese version has a demo.
Right.
You guys can go download the Japanese version demo.
Right.
So, a demo version exists in one language.
It might exist
Not-
in
it
another
might,
one
it might
at
at
some
some point
point
exist in another language. No comment.
お前らどこの組のもんだよ。
登場会太平一家だ。
太平一家。
think we covered this a little bit in some of the other streams, but the fact that Shibusawa runs the Shibusawa family, that Kuze runs the Kuze clan, and that Awano runs the Taihei Association were very like indicative of what their characters and their representations of what they kind of do, which was cool. I think that was one of Sam's contributions. Like, you don't make them all family. You gotta separate it out of it.
河村町には星の数ほどヤクザの組があるのによ。よりによって堂島組の下っ端だったわけか。まずいとこにぶつかっちまったな。
So Kiryu is.
もっとも俺らが殻の一粒を追ってりゃいずれ勝ち合う。
They've been dealing with kind of low-level Yakuza, not direct to families at this point. But now that they've essentially pissed off the Awano, Dojima lieutenant, things are going to start to hit the fan for Kiryu here. Here's our stupid squatter.
戦友よの辻さんよ。はい。
So, someone's basically like, if you're done with the Yakuza 6 game already, why don't you have the demo out? It's like, doesn't work that way.
Yeah, you can't just throw games out, guys. There has to be a strategy.
There's a strategy.
それでもまだ一人で頑張る気。
It's a higher level game. There's a higher level gameplay.
あ、そう。それじゃ今夜中にあの部屋出てってね。明日の朝までいたらこの桐生君が何してかすかわかんない。
What is that? Hotel Kamurocho for your.
Oh, I never looked that far back.
Yeah.
But again, that kind of goes back to what you're saying. His backgrounds are all rendered up.
Yeah. Get out of here.
Ah.
Get out of here.
Classic Yakuza runaway.
これがあんたの仕事のやり方ってわけか。
俺のじゃない。全部立花社長から教わったやり方だよ。ま、最初の仕事にしては上出来か。どう？
Dirk has joined the chat.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Mr. Dirk himself.
Hey, Dirk. I didn't watch the last week's stream, but I definitely got the feeling that was.
There's nothing.
They went
for you to
really
see
well.
There. There's nothing for you to see there, Sam. It was all good. There were no technical issues. There was no finger
Good.
chopping.
That's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah.
そんな先のこと考えてねえよ。
そっか。
それよりこの後はどうする？
Dirk is also one of those like sometimes has a beard, sometimes doesn't have a beard kind of thing guys. And so it's the same thing. Sometimes he sits right behind. Dirk sits behind me in the office. So sometimes I'm like,
De-aged.
yeah, he switches between like you know, someone maybe in his early 30s to someone in like his early 20s. Like,
Sam rolls in on the first day without this beard, and the VP rolls in and he's like, sir, is your father coming into? It's good.
案外気前がいいんだな。
まあね。
yeah, she one of the producers was from me. I was like, when I come in next week to shave, I will look like 5-6 years younger. And she was like, and I'm like, okay. And I come in and she's like, you look like you're 5-6 years younger. And I'm like,
マッハボールか。
still got it. Hidden under the gray beard.
それじゃまた後でな。
All right, so what's going on? So Kiryu's going to roll up into this like.
So we are going to go to deliver the good news to Yamanoe that we've got the squatter out, and we are going to run into our first king.
Oh, that's right, this guy. It's the is it the gambling, the casino king?
No, it's the.
Who's the first person?
Pleasure? No. Pleasure's 3. Who are you? Why am I blanking on this?
I thought he was the casino guy. Is that the last one?
The
いやー、それにしても頑固ですね、山。自分の物件
now
の
I'm skipping text.
全
See.
くだ。しかし今回は
Man,
山
well,
の医者いなくなれば、あのエリア一帯は娯楽王とまで呼ばれている。
The Leisure King!
the leisure.
The
King.
Leisure
まあ
King.
そうなるな。
He's the guy you gotta fight at karaoke.
これ
Of
で
course, it's Leisure.
Oh yeah,
5ビリオネアの他の連中にもでかい
5
顔ができるってもんだ。
5 billion. Are they the billionaires in Japanese or are they millionaires in Japanese? Are they billionaires or millionaires?
Oh.
おっと。てめえ、何突っ立ってやがる。
Oh, fun fact. This is something that we weren't really able to get into the translation because it's just impossible to shoot in. But, all the what are they called? What are the ones in Soldenborg?
5 stars.
The 5 stars, and the thing is that each one of their names is like a reference to one of the 5 planets, the 5 main planets. Do you remember that? Like so each
like Hino is Mars.
correct. Because in Japanese Mars is the fire planet,
Oh.
right?
Here I was thinking it was all just a big Sailor Moon reference.
No. It's all so each character's name uses a kanji that refers to that planet, and in Japanese, they don't really make a distinction between a planet and a star.
Right.
Right? Like in the word, they say, you can say like wakusei, which means planet, but it's still a sei, it's still a hoshi, it's still a star. So in Japanese, it all just gets mixed up. So it's this planetary reference all across the board. We didn't. There's no way to like. To make that make sense in English, you'd have to like utterly overcraft the entire thing.
Translator's note.
Yeah. What was the Mars guy's name again?
Hino.
Yeah. So he is probably the character for fire, and No is the character for field, which is just a name, just like a person's family name. But we would have to call him like.
And then like Kanehara is Venus.
Kinsei is Venus in Japanese, and Kin is the character for gold.
And then Suji-san is Moon. Even I know that Suji is Moon.
Suji is Moon, right? Yeah, so that's like all that. Together. And Yoda is the Yo in Yoda is the Yo. I'm pretty sure the Yo in Taiyo, which is the sun. But it's just overcrafting a localization.
Yeah. It's just overcrafting. That's a good word for it. Here we are going to be introduced to the Real Estate Royale. But this is probably one of the most long-winded conversations in the game, straight up.
You just L1 through it? Just L1 through this.
Yeah, let's do that.
Alright, so this is a hack.
Hold L1,
R1.
R1 and X to skip text. Don't do this at home. We write craftingly loved, good text.
Yeah, we want you to read every single line of his life's work. So don't do this. We're professionals. Don't try this at home.
We discover through this that Kazuma-san also knows Yamanoi-san, got him into the real estate business. There's a money game at play, which 5 billionaires have arrested Kamurocho within their money game, and the only way to upend them is to get into the real estate business and slowly start chipping away at their properties. And it took like 600 text boxes to say that. Which is fair. That's fine.
What happened?
So Yamanoi sounds like, we gotta clean up this office a bit.
And it gets all posh. It's like,
it's gonna be, we gotta go run around town for a little bit while he.
All right, okay, are we gonna do something? You want to go hit some baseball? Is this a time thing or event triggered?
I'm not sure actually. I never figured that out. You'd think that's something I would absolutely know, but I just kind of run around town and hope that something happens.
Can we get?
What? Any mini? Oh God! I really want to go to the telephone club. Yes, that should be open. Please tell me that's open.
Talk about everything we did here.
Yes.
We went on our way. I remember going out of our way to find the correct font.
Oh yeah. This, because in Japanese, it Oh, there we are. Yeah, there's a lot of loving. This is part of our Arakure quest I've just ran into. The gang Goomba who stole the video game from young Akio.
Arakure.
いや
I haven't learned the knife counter yet. It's a great feat.
That's the one you,
Yeah.
you put like break the guy's arm, right?
Oh, but I do have an orange. Yeah.
You know it's Mikan season?
Yes, I saw you post that picture.
So another like character bullet point about me is that I am a Japanese Mikan
Tangerine.
Satsuma fiend.
Tangerine.
I will eat a bucket of Satsumas in a sitting.
Satsuma tangerines, though, are legit. Both me and Sam have. This is what we bond over: is Satsuma tangerines. I had a tree growing up. My grandma had a tree growing up, and every winter was amazing.
And I lived in Onamichi, which is incidentally where Yakuza 6 is set, and that area, since it's on the inner sea and there's a lot of islands and it's warm and humid. Well, all of Japan's warm and humid. Just the climate there is particularly well suited for growing mikan, which are Satsuma tangerines. And in the wintertime, they're just like, there's so many of them that people literally don't even know what to do with them. So like, people will give them to their neighbors, and their neighbors will have already received them from other people, and so they'll give them to their neighbors. And there's just so many tangerines, and there's always a bowl of mikan like on, and so I just got addicted to eating these.
They peel so much easier than oranges. You can just peel off the skin, and it's just instant goodness.
Yeah.
It's
It's like the convenience of a banana and the deliciousness
of a sweet orange.
Of a sweet orange. Y'all, you need to get some mikan in your life.
Tangerines.
Mikan. There's a character in Yakuza 6 that associates with the mikan, so we'll roll back on that and make a joke out of this.
Yes, absolutely.
That's going to be a running joke. Seriously, mikan season, man.
Mm-hmm.
It has started.
Oh no. Oh, the fortune teller.
This is like spoilers for the rest of the series, right?
Yeah, right. But yeah, these little callbacks that are technically call forwards.
Yep.
Were amazing.
Yep. 1 million yen is approximately $10,000. Just so you know.
That's an expensive fortune.
Yep. For Japanese money, just to make things easy, just chop off 2 zeros, and that's basically what the dollar is. More or less.
I am going to the telephone club.
Roughly.
This was the telephone club was actually in our event demo too, which is, it was hard to direct people to come here because you're like, oh no, go there, no, okay, wrong way, oh, you're in a sub store, forget it. But
okay, what's going on here? What is this?
A telephone club.
What is a telephone club, Scott?
Huh? I think this might be better off explained by you.
So my understanding is that back in the 80s there was this thing called telephone clubs, and essentially what would happen would be it's just a different way of like meeting girls at the time, and men would pay. So there's two sides of the business, right? There are the telephone clubs would put out ads targeted at girls.
This just real quick. This little bit of manual for whatever reason was one of the other things that went semi-viral. Try not to offend or creep the girl out. That's literally in the manual, but it's like, this is the Yakuza series. Like this right here. Yeah. You're playing a mini game with the mechanics of a shooter game while trying to not creep girls out.
So these telephone clubs would put out ads to basically have people call in, have girls call in, and the girls would get a kickback from this. I'm not quite sure how that exchange would happen, but the girls who called in would get kickbacks from the company or from the telephone club based on, like, I guess how many people they talked to or how long they talked to people. And then men would come to these clubs and basically pay money to sit at a phone that is going to get call-ins from girls. And then the whole thing was just, you talk to girls, and maybe if they're local, it's all local based because you're picking up local ads and whatnot. And you're usually just talking, but if things are kind of happening, then you can actually set up meetups and whatnot. So it's like a little bit of it's sort of like it's like a hostess club kind of thing, but with a little bit more distance, a little bit easier to kind of get into. It was basically just my understanding is it's basically a way to meet up with girls.
Basically.
Yeah, it's like a measured way to meet up with people that you hadn't met before. So a lot of people may make an analog to like a sex line and like a toll a toll sex line or something like that, but it's not really what it is. It's similar, but not really the point.
I want to say that this is going to be one of the shills because the QTE was slow, and I'm pretty much detecting that the voice is. I don't think you can hear the difference in the voice. It's. Real
I never
subtle.
could figure this. I never played it enough to.
This text was one of the last things we did. We're like, wait a minute.
Because
this isn't subtitles.
Because this didn't have subtitles.
No, this didn't have subtitles.
We added these we were like, guys, this is like critical. We need to add subtitles in.
And it was one of the last things we realized too, because we're like, oh, they're just chatting in the background. Like, no, they're not. People are gonna want to know what she's saying, even though it's really pervy.
But that's part of the fun there. That's like the mini game is that they say pervy things. So.
Please call me Supreme Leader. The object of all these little text boxes is to make them look as close as possible.
So I should explain what these look like in Japanese, because the whole presentation is slightly different in Japanese. So in Japanese, each box is written in katakana, which is one of the Japanese character sets, and it's got this pixelated kind of half-width presentation, and they change like one character, or they basically have words that look really similar in katakana, and since they're flipping upside down and left and right, it's really hard to tell what is the correct one right off the bat. So I think it's actually a little bit more difficult in Japanese than it is in English, just because it's a little more difficult to parse what's what. But at the end of the day, the challenge is still the same. You still gotta you gotta find the one you're looking for and try to wait for it to open up. So
it's still hard. It's still plenty hard.
It's still plenty hard, yeah. So. We went with ones that were a little bit more. We focused on the funny rather than words that look similar.
Right. Now I've done it.
We actually had to spend a lot of time trying to find the right font for this because in Japanese, like I said, it had this like pixelated like terminal.
Right.
Kind of from the 80s, like DOS sort of presentation.
And what we ended up doing was literally a DOS font.
Yeah, we haven't found this DOS font that we're like, okay, that's basically the equivalent. So.
Yeah, the whole presentation of this minigame is just amazing. From top to bottom. The answering the phone part is incredible. That generated like fun little toenail. What are you talking? Fun to talk to. It generated so many articles just watching Kiryu of a GIF be like, whoosh. That was my Twitter account for the longest time too. Debate.
Are we going to find her?
It'll force us to, yeah.
Oh, that's right. It's part of the sequence.
Yeah. 90% sure this is Shill. This is where the quest to platinum this game went awry for so many people, because you had to get all 3 girls. And all the sub-stories involved, all the shills.
Yeah, you really got to be able to hear. I mean, that's it. You got to recognize the voice and hang up.
Yep. You can hang up this game if you didn't.
You got to hang up, yeah. If you're like, this isn't it. I think that's part of the whole, like, the realism of the thing back in the day is, like, you had to learn how to fish.
Yeah.
Fish the girls you didn't necessarily want to meet up with, like, by stuff and be like, yeah.
Sayuri. It's a shill.
But it's too late. It's funny. Once you know their name, it's like, oh.
All the shills start with Sa.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
And one of them is named Sakura, and one of our marketing managers is also named Sakura. So on her first day, I sent her the text along that said, "I thought I was gonna meet a hot girl, but it was just a Sakura." Oh, Kiryu, don't do it.
Oh no. Ah.
The cougar noise is amazing.
I think I've never seen this one before.
Oh, really?
I get what's her face always. what's
Rena?
No.
No. Rena's.
The
She
one
might be
who the one who's all like oh, you got lost.
Oh, yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I think I've lost my way.
Yeah, that one's good too.
Yeah. Yeah.
The heartbeat.
Yes, I am. Are you Sayuri's mother? Oh no! No! It's awful. Let's see. That's brutal. That's brutal. Oh no. Go.
So much life lost. Whatever happened hurt him.
No. Oh no. He got heat action. Oh no. Oh. So it's funny they have up here they have the dual pricing, and one pricing is for like a couple hours and the other one's for like all night.
This never happened. Where's my phone call? Yamanoi? Oh, there it is. The pager? Not bad. 89 is all set and 01104 has come by. Can you parse that, Sam?
Oh, God.
God, she really did hurt me.
No, I can't parse that. I didn't think about that.
Conveniently, you can take a taxi almost directly to the real estate agency. Oh, but it's the 10,000 ones. The ones on this street are 10,000. I always feel.
Yeah, but you're
Jip.
flush with cash. So
I know. Oh God,
that's
I
literally
just picked the wrong one.
That's less than it's literally less than
Here, I
1% of your total money.
Still, it's a principle. Didn't even pick the right one. It's not even that close. What am I talking about? It wasn't that close to your real estate agency. Whatever. We'll just walk, okay?
Okay, he's gonna walk off that.
Whatever just happened.
Whatever just happened.
No.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Not a menacing young man.
This is that one. This one's actually
Oh,
probably one of the most
snap.
important ones for Yakuza 6 actually.
Yeah.
If you're gonna play any mini game in Yakuza 0, this is the one that's this one's pretty.
This is young Daigo. To spoil it.
Yeah, young Daigo. Daigo's important.
He is important.
Daigo's important. Daigo's important.
Oi.
We talk about Daigo in the comics. Daigo gets a comic.
That episode's coming up. The next episode is no. Yeah, next episode is Yakuza 3.
Yeah.
And then that's where we kind of introduce Daigo, and from there on. Yeah, I don't want to spoil too much, but
Yeah.
Daigo's
important. We'll talk about Daigo.
Going the right way. I always get turned around whenever I get sub-storied. Oh, it's a Miracle Johnson.
Uh-oh.
These guys are basically the reverse otakus. Americana fanboy and I think what a culture enthusiast or something. Yeah, Western culture enthusiast.
Japanese culture enthusiast.
Right?
We have Japanese. That's like a target market.
They talk like American fanboys. Oh my god. Miracle Johnson.
You have to go somewhere there to find this guy, though, right?
Yeah. We'll do that after we get real estate started up.
Okay.
You could not be bothered. All right, here we go. Real estate royale.
桐生さん、
ん
秘書のマリナです。
Marina's here. Cleaned up pretty nice, guys. From the squatter's little hovel. Now it's a hideout.
Hideout's a that's like a series
Legacy term. Yep.
Legacy term. Yep. Ajito. In Japanese it's ajito, which is base hideout layer.
Yeah, so this tutorial is, having watched people play this, I felt a little bad that we evidently didn't do a very good job explaining how Real Estate Royale works, which sucks, but most of you figured it out. Some of you didn't. I'm sorry.
Sometimes you can't figure that stuff out unless you like have like a million people play it.
It's a giant tutorial. I mean, like, yeah, sure, this explains the game. I mean, we get, inundated by this stuff. We get to the point where we're just like, yeah, that's how that works. That's pretty self-explanatory. And watching streamers play this was like gut-wrenching. Oh, there's a card in here. I forgot.
Is it Marina herself?
No,
Yeah,
Erica.
Kitagawa. North River.
All right. Collector's order. All right. So we've got one store. This chill-ass track. Give it a staff member. Yup. Okay. Wait. How do I staff it?
You gotta pick the guy.
Yeah. Okay, right.
Pick the guy.
It's been a while.
Pick the
So
guy.
okay, so see, the number on the left, every time that you do this, the number scrolls one more down. And the higher the number, the better it is. So you want this guy, Suneo, you'd want to pull him before he gets to that -1. That's what's keeping you doing the stuff. And oh my god, it was so painful. There were so many people who just didn't understand. I don't think that part was really even in the tutorial. I guess it was just an oversight. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Start the collection. Yep. Let's go. That's not subtitle. What does that mean?
It means it's like jadi is like the sound of like coins falling into a bucket. And
How would we have even subtitled
yeah,
that?
and kaseguze means like let's save up money. So it means that it's like bring the cash, bring the money. I think it's actually also this. I think they use the same line. So Sega released this. It's kind of like one of those. So Sega like 3-4 years ago released this game called Hero Bank in Japan, and it was like a kind of like a Yokai Watch style thing where it's like a game that has an anime support sort of kind of thing going on with it. And I want to say that like that Jarin Kaseguze is like sort of a reference to that because it's the same thing where basically it's like heroes fighting for money kind of thing. I didn't really.
Which store am I supposed to buy? I'm supposed to buy one of
The one across the street.
Oh.
The Apple Ringo one or whatever it is.
No, I think that one's later.
It's this one. No, it's this one over here. It's this one. Yeah, it's this Ringo.
No, man.
Ringo Hime, no?
No.
I think that's it. Wait, push pause me.
Sukiyaki Muranaka.
On Tenkaichi Street. So go out to the right.
Here we are.
Is it? No, go over there. Yeah, go to the right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Muranaka.
Here we are. Here we are.
That's it.
This part.
So, okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So.
Hold on. We're gonna get the money. The money.
Okay. We subtitled this.
We did. Again, one of the last things that got subtitled. And it's reversed. But that was the right call for that subtitle.
Yeah. So this part of the game requires you to be able to like read all the signs in Japanese.
It sucks.
And we did investigate like putting like maybe like little markers on it on the map to like show like you can talk to this store or something like that. But at the time and the restraints and what we kind of were dealing with at the time, we just couldn't
make it happen.
We couldn't make it happen.
It could have broken more than we could have solved.
We tried. We really did try. And for risk of making things worse, we ended up just being like,
they'll figure it out.
People are just going to run by it. There'll be guides on the internet, and people will run by until they find it. It's so not acceptable. It's so really not okay. But that's just where the cookie crumbled.
Yep.
We tried.
We did.
All right, while you're clicking through this, I'm going to take another moment to plug.
One more plug.
Our Yakuza 6. So get it. It's out there now, but the premium edition is like limited.
Pretty much very limited. I believe Best Buy still has some.
So Best Buy may have some, but you know, if you want one of these, or if you think you might want one, you better get it now.
Yes.
Yep.
And remember, this game is way out. Like we're 5 months out, so you know, if you don't hop on it now, you will be stuck with the awful launch edition,
free version of an art book,
free art book that comes packed in with the standard launch edition. Again, this one costs the same as a regular game, $59. Is it $59.99?
Yep.
So sorry for giving you guys free stuff and all that. But again, these will also be somewhat potentially somewhat limited as well. So definitely jump on it. Don't wait.
Don't wait.
Even though I know we're like way out. But like we said, it's not just waiting for the game. We do have stuff for you guys to kind of, appetizers leading up to it. I want to plug the experience site over there again. Go check it out. Click through the games. Read the character profiles. Check out the comics. And we'll have more stuff coming up on there going forward. But definitely, go check it out.
Marina's former employment being a big juicy secret is obviously a reference to what the real Marina does. Again, don't Google her at work.
Yeah, don't Google. Don't Google. Don't do it.
You can do it at home. It's fine. Go to Serena. But we're going to hang out here for a bit. This is where we're going to slow down the stream a bit, get through the Leisure King, because I do want to make sure that we show kind of that whole. Oh, I'm poor. Damn it.
You need to debug yourself some money.
I do. That's the convenient way to do things.
I wonder if does this game have good mahjong payouts?
Yeah, I think so.
Try to do some mahjong. Oh yeah.
Kyo.
So yeah, so the one of the things here is that by completing a lot of the sub stories, a lot of those people
They feed into your real estate,
Into real
which
estate.
inspires you to complete the sub stories, which is pretty awesome.
Yep.
Of course, that's literally all I've done because I've been powering through the main story for you guys.
otherwise it'd be all these like people like hanging outside your office
Yeah.
waiting to be.
Womp womp. I want to go do Miracle Johnson. How much time we got?
We got 20 minutes.
20 minutes? That's plenty of time for Miracle Johnson. He is taking place at where's that bar?
It's the bar.
Earth Angel.
It's the one that's it's the one that you do the Leisure King karaoke thing in, isn't it? Is it not that one?
I think so. I think I'm gonna get blocked by the fortune teller though, which is fine. I can pull her off for now. Come back to her for sure. Gentlemen, please. Try to sign.
Crush it. Crush it. Crush it. Oh, they want Daigo, dude. They don't.
They want Daigo.
They want Daigo.
Okay.
I got 3 votes for Daigo.
Fans have spoken.
Yo, but seriously, just for anyone who's joining the stream maybe for the first time, you know, when we were working on this game, not even this game, but Yakuza 6 as well, there were some aspects of the localization. This is gonna sound really shady. Some aspects of the localization where we're like having to look or have things on our computer screens that don't look like they're work related, but they're totally work related. No, seriously, they're work related. Like those, a good example is those cards you pick up.
Mm-hmm.
We had one of the localization guys was having to go through and confirm all the graphic text contents and do this sort of cross check. So on one screen he had basically he's clicking through all these like character cards on one side with some text on the right side, and it's just basically his one. You look over there and his one screen, he's just like girls like with half clothes on like on one screen, and if you just didn't know, you'd be like, "What are you doing? Is that?" That's an HR violation.
Yes. We had to like talk to HR, be like, you may see some things coming out of our localization department.
Before you get afraid, come talk to us. We'll clear it.
Daigo's such a little shit in this.
We actually have a clause in our employee hand manual that says something effective like, you may see offensive content.
You may see things that make you uncomfortable.
They're uncomfortable at work in this office.
Sign here to
but that's just
that's
the
part of your
nature
job.
of it. That's part of the job. Thanks, Japan.
Keeps life interesting, man.
Keeps life interesting. He totally looks like Daigo too.
Yeah, they did a good job with him. Did you pop a boner in the boss's office? Daigo.
The 1%.
Master Daigo. The 1%.
It's kind of funny too. I mean, it's like his whole shirt's like a little too big for him, you know. Like I love the there's a lot of subtlety in this model. Like he's got like his clothes a little too big for him. He's undersized and doesn't quite fill the pants. You know. Daigo's hanging out with the big kids.
Yeah, he was.
Okay, so all right, we're gonna take the boss's kid.
Yeah.
Is he calling him like
Master Daigo.
Yeah, is it Daigo? I wonder if it's like Daigo-sama. What is he calling him in Japanese?
I don't remember.
It's not that. It can't be Daigo-sama. It's gonna be
No.
like.
First up, arcade. I had to do UFO catcher last time for Akko.
How do you think? How old do you think Daigo is in this one?
It'd take me a while to confirm that because I'd have to go find his
Yeah,
age in
'cause
some
Kiryu-
other game and
is
work
he-
backward.
I mean, like, how old is he in relation to Kiryu? Do you know? Is he like 9 years younger? 8, 9?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
It's
so he's
about-
probably like
about
11
good.
or 12.
Yeah, me and Dirk were doing UFO catchers on the last stream.
Oh yeah? Did you guys do well?
No. I was like, this is pretty easy in this game, and then it took us like 3 shots.
Yeah.
Just gotta go after the lizard, man.
The lizards are pretty easy. That's what everyone said the last stream too. We were trying to get fancy with it. I think we ended up getting the lizard.
Yeah,
Is that
it was
right,
a
Will?
suggestion by the viewers. They're like, just get the list. It's way easier.
Oh man. I'm gonna go for the spoils though. Okay.
I don't know if we're gonna get. I think we're gonna be at the end of Daigo and have to call it quits.
Yeah, in the Dagger will call it quits. No! I had him. Just wasn't in the right. I had him. Oh no!
Scott, remember last time you were like,
I
this
just
isn't that hard.
accidentally tapped X.
This isn't hard.
This isn't hard,
You're
guys.
like, this isn't that hard.
This is absolutely not hard. This is the easiest thing in the game.
This is why we're localizers, guys. We don't actually know how to play the game.
Don't say that.
You're working on Contra 3, aren't you?
I am. I have a Super Nintendo Mini at my desk. Oh, that's
He's
way
been,
off.
He's been working hard on that. That was after we beat Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
We did. We beat that
We
together.
legitimately beat that. That was like the culmination of like 25 years of my life.
I'm sorry, Daigo. That's okay. Don't torture me anymore, Daigo. I make no excuses.
Yeah.
Well, Daigo, you grew up to let us down.
Oh
A
yeah.
lot as well.
I think Daigo
So-
has more than made
Life
up for the
lesson,
lack
my
of-
friend,
lack
life
of
lesson.
stuffed animals at the arcade.
Talking about disappointments.
Poor Daigo.
He
Daigo
tried-
gets a
he
bad
tried.
rap.
Yeah,
He
he tried.
tries.
He
He
does
legit
try.
tries.
I think he, I don't think that's what it said, Japanese.
Probably not.
I don't think that was the Japanese line, but that was arguably better. I like that the fact the cat fight thing is like it's sort of like a it's like a review. You haven't come across it
Right.
yet, so depending on when you're in the game, it's cool. Man, I'm getting a lot of hate for hating on Daigo. Apparently, there's a lot of Daigo lovers out
There's a
there.
lot of Daigo love out there, yeah. He does try. Especially, I don't know, we'll talk about Yakuza 5 at some point, but man, Yakuza 5 Daigo's like,
He like redeems himself. He
Yeah.
comes into he kind of finally like even Yakuza 3 Daigo like he's like legitimately trying.
yeah, Yakuza 3 Daigo's like, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Yakuza
So
4
give it the
Daigo,
old
Yakuza 4
college
Daigo needs
try,
to
you
get a
know?
little beat up. Yakuza 4 Daigo's like gives up. And Kiryu's there to like smack him around. And Yakuza 5 is,
Yeah.
that's Daigo's like real effort.
But that's the whole point, and that's kind of what we touch on in the comics is that it's like, you know, Daigo it ultimately is what he is because he had sort of Kiryu as like a father, like a strong role model, there to like pick him up when he was down and basically say like you're better than this, you know, like that's so like you don't need to play if you want to talk about Daigo, you don't need to play the games to understand where Daigo's in. Just like we said, read the comics. But the long and short of it is
They're still
that
coming. We're getting there.
we're getting there. But read the comics. We're going to talk about that sort of stuff. So, yeah, stick with us. It's a long. We still have ways to get to 6, but we got tons of stuff
I know.
coming out.
People are pretty hyped though. I'm excited that you guys are hyped because that gives me life. Gives me the strength to keep going. Daigo,
Come on, Daigo.
what a jerk.
Garish?
Garish.
Garish?
Garish woman.
What is that? I'm sorry.
Little,
Your language is a little too advanced for me, Scott. Garish, what is that?
Isn't that
Define.
like flashy.
Yeah.
Way?
That's
Flashy?
a good word. Like a little, like a cheap,
Cheap
flashy in a
and-
cheap way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Garish.
Yes.
It's my word for the day.
Good word.
It is a good word. Tacky. I would.
Tacky is a good word
Yeah,
too.
tacky. That's the word I knew for that.
How much do you charge for this swill? Daigo. Damn.
But that's like a 12-year-old boy. I mean, like
A 12-year-old boy who's been ignored by his father and is the son of a Yakuza boss.
he wants to be treated like an adult, even though he's like not an adult. And he doesn't act like an adult.
Yeah.
That's the
Just-
thing. That's the thing about
Just
that. It's
raw
like
Daigo.
you don't get treated like an adult, kid. You gotta act like an adult to be treated like an adult.
That's
It's
the
not
whole
the,
point.
it's not
I'm
the
so
other way
sorry.
around. It's not the other way around. Yeah. But this is funny because like when it comes to like, because Yakuza is often portrayed sort of this like, it's a story about men kind of thing,
Mhm.
And this is one of those things that like if you're an adult man looking back on that, you're kind of like, oh,
That kind of was me
I
at
was
12.
sort of like an asshole. I would have said the same thing when I was 12. Oh.
I don't know. I wouldn't have said the same thing. Daigo's
If you were the
special.
son of a Yakuza boss, you don't think you'd have acted like that?
Uh,
I think I would have acted like that if I was being sent to the poshiest school because my dad had all the money, and I don't think I'd have really very few redeeming value at that point. Especially if your father figures are just not around,
Oh, no.
You don't have good
He's gonna be an ape.
yeah,
He's gonna grow up to be an ape.
it's just that's just how I'd be like that.
All right, so I'm gonna have to go into the champion district, the other side, to avoid the fortune teller. Yes. Give me the seat.
It's a good thing you know that because we got a little bit of time. We only got 8 minutes to wrap this one up.
Yep. Gotta save this lady. Oh, there's gonna be a beating, all right. Some of these lines are some of the most fun to write when Kiryu actually gets to like be a hero. You're welcome, lady.
Victim. Got a slightly battered. Oh, that's a
localization.
That's a localization thing. So in most Japanese games, it's usually like a sentence and then some sort of variable that gets thrown in there. But then there's certain things especially like in English, where you can't basically change the sentence. So English has the thing with A's and ands, where the preceding.
So if you were to get an orange versus A stem and an X.
Yeah, you would get a orange, which is grammatically incorrect. So, long time ago, we kind of figured out this little trick where you can actually put adjectives after the A, and then you can kind of have the variable in there, and you can get around that whole grammatical thing, which is kind of like a sort of like a Japanese J2E Japanese to English like localization
Trick of
hack.
trade. Yeah. Of course, next level is to come up with like a coding variable that will understand what this thing needs, and then it'll plug the A or the N in front of it.
Yeah.
But not all games are capable of that.
Some games I've noticed where they actually include the article as part of the item name.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then you have to make sure that then all the item names have to all be like lowercase.
Yeah. Ooh, there's a mysterious syringe in here. Hold on.
Oh god.
This stream rated M for mysterious liquids.
AIDS. You just killed that dude with AIDS.
Yikes, dude. Oh no! I got AIDS. Oh! Excuse you.
Oh, sorry. We got one question. So do we usually start translating the game once it's out in Japan, or?
We're working on improving that now.
Yeah. So it actually depends on the game. It depends on the publisher. Depends on the developer.
Yep. Depends on a lot of factors.
Depends on a lot of
honestly.
things. So it depends on when. There's all kinds of. There's a
So many
million
factors?
factors that will affect when things are. Yeah, it just depends.
Ideally, you want to start before the Japanese is launched.
Well,
But then again, if they haven't locked their text,
yeah.
you're like, I don't want to start on that text
Yeah.
because they'll just be like, all that text you wrote is invalid. We threw out that chapter.
Yeah,
Start over,
we
please.
rewrote how this whole character arc plays out. The last month you spent working on that, you just start over. And so then it's like an efficiency thing, right?
Yeah. Maybe we should just wait till you're done.
We do. This is work. We don't sit around like drumming our thumbs waiting for someone to, like, for us to like find a game to work on. There's constant pressures and other kind of stuff we're working on all the time. So, it's not like losing a month of work is devastating.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, waiting later helps because it means you're working on more finalized text, but starting early means that you can potentially get it done sooner. So kind of just depends.
Yeah, definitely.
Someone's asked me, will I ever do another panel on localization?
Oh, they see you in like Georgia or whatever?
Did you see me in Georgia when I gave my localization thing at MomoCon? Is that what you're talking about? I actually wanted to do that same panel again, or that same presentation again, and I lost the presentation. Like I can't find it.
This is as close to the panel as you get. We don't have to do it live in front of anywhere.
But I had really cool stuff. Like I had like stick figures and like animations. I had a guy on Twitter like draft like a fake pack front for me that I was like, our fake localization company is gonna localize this fake game. It was really cool. It was a really cool presentation, really cool panel. But I lost everything.
Kiryu's about to beat up Daigo. This is the kind of tough love Daigo needs.
Every boy needs someone to break it down like this at some point.
Yeah, it's just like I'm gonna threaten you with violence until you care now. Don't forget, you have at least one friend in me.
On your feet. On your feet, son!
No more partying on my parents' dime.
Sure, Daigo.
Sure, Daigo. See you in Yakuza 2. Touching the little ending there. Call him sir. All right then. That's gonna pretty much
I
wrap
think that
us.
wraps us for the day. I want to thank you guys for coming. I want to thank for everyone for joining us and sticking with us as we move through Yakuza 0. We'll be back next week. Are you going to be here?
I'm not here next week. I am taking a day off on Friday. I have to go visit my mom on a mountain.
So so that means next week's stream is going to be 2 hours of me playing Mahjong.
No.
We'll figure it out.
Sam will have to bring in a special guest.
I have to bring in a special guest.
And then
not Scott.
The real account can blow it up out of proportion and it'll be just good.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see you guys same time next week. Again, get the Yakuza 6 edition, premium edition while you can.
It is going.
It's going
that's
fast,
legit.
guys. Seriously, do not wait on this one. And then, or you can go ahead and just pre-order the launch edition. This is going to be hot. We'll have more information about it next week, or not next week, but later this month. And we will, we'll see you next week, guys. And check out the site. Check out the Experience site.
And the Yakuza 6 website.
And the premium edition. And the launch edition. See you next Friday. Later, guys.